Missed the opportunity. Hello and welcome to Wales Comic Con, 10th anniversary. Oh my god, 10 years. Yes, it has really been 10 years. Let's get a round of applause. Okay, time for the first Q&A of the day. Please welcome to this stage the cast of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
On the couch. Have they not seen my ass?
You can perch at the back one. Oh, that's very friendly.
There's room for all of us, right?
Rose between teeth.
It's so good, friends.
Right, the way this works is these guys are going to ask you some questions.
I've never done a right to you, Tony, before.
You're going to answer them.
We're there.
Right, okay, so the idea is that you stick your hand. There's a lot of people out there. I wasn't expecting that. If you've got questions, stick your hand in the air, and we've got a roving mic.
You guys don't have any questions.
John, identify yourself.
Nice to meet everyone. I was not comfortable. Sorry. Oh,
so if you can point to somebody and you think, I'd like to hear that question.
Is that okay?
You're so manly.
It's better.
There.
What?
You're so manly and in charge.
The opposite of my existence on the show.
Okay, we got one here. Let's kick this off.
Are you guys excited to be here at this Comic-Con? Are you guys sad that James had to cancel? But you're happy we're here, right? Okay.
All right, time for our first question. Ask away, please.
Hi guys, thanks for coming. Just want to say
Wait, where are you? Stand up.
It's waving.
Oh.
Yes.
Stand up.
Show yourself.
Just wondering, because Buffy is one of those shows that kind of
You
influence
gotta
us.
stand up while your tongue says. Very cosplay from The Walking Dead?
Strange things.
Stranger Things.
It's the same uniform.
Very
You're
good.
in a box
It is
room.
pretty much, yeah.
Now hop on one leg as you ask the question.
I was just
Just gonna
thinking.
finish this Instagram while you're.
Okay. Yeah.
Just fire away, fire away.
Okay, I'm done.
Buffy is one of
We'll
those.
shut up now, really.
Right. Buffy is one of those shows.
Are you sad Sean had to cancel?
I'll just have my coffee.
Okay, really?
Buffy is one of those shows that was like massively influential. You can still see the influence of other things today. I was just wondering, either have you seen anything that you think was in like another TV show, or that you think was inspired by Buffy, or has someone come up to you, or maybe like a famous person, and said that they love the show or are influenced by it or anything like that? Just any interesting story you might have about the impact and the legacy of
In the world, in the
anything. I'm being vague, yes.
Good.
That's my contribution.
So articulate.
You know what though? You are correct. Buffy was sort of the beginning of the strong female lead who was also flawed. And so over the years, that theme has been taken to many different levels, including Stranger Things. And it's definitely grown and become more commonplace. I think Buffy was the first show that sort of allowed that flawed teenage female character to be strong and also accessible to young and older women. And yeah, definitely in my time meeting different people who are also in the business, a lot of people are very passionate about that show, just like you guys. So there's a reason that you guys are still here in this audience today, and the show has far-reaching, extensions.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it had to do too with the relatability, because I mean, you can go back to Wonder Woman and Bionic Woman and other quote unquote Supergirl type, superhero type shows before Buffy but it just didn't, it wasn't, those to me weren't grounded in a reality that was so relatable to us commoners. And so I think that was the thing that kind of got your hooks into the show emotionally, and was a jumping off point where you could say, that could be me, as opposed to Wonder Woman, which was a bigger stretch to say, that really is not me. I do not have a clone that can do that.
For some of us, that's a bigger stretch. For you.
Who's in the tall chair?
Well, you're there for now. We'll see.
I've had many experiences, but one of the best ones was going in to meet Shonda Rhimes, and the first time, and I went to their office, and they all genuflected and said, "Giles! This is good. This is good." But they basically said, because they were all writers, and they all said that they'd all come up through, the years of Buffy, and it had established, because it's great writing. It's still, still now that I get a script and think, I wish they were writing it. Not always, but it's a great legacy. He is an amazing writer.
I have to say, one of the things, I just finished my directorial feature debut, and what was very, Gary Oldman has an extended cameo in it, and Joss has a cameo in it, and we did a photo shoot with them on set together, and watching Gary actually totally fanboy out with Joss was so cute. And he came up to Joss in the makeup room, and he was like, "So I really, really, really loved Much Ado About Nothing." And then he's like, "And I really, really loved Buffy." And Joss was like, "Oh my God, it's Gary Oldman." And it was just like this moment, but it's like one of those things that you're talking about. It was a pretty cool story.
Cool.
Thanks very much, guys. Great to have such a range of characters here today. So, thanks. I'm still here. Bye.
Right, let's go for another question then. Get your hands in the air if you've got one. Do you want to pick one, Hugo?
Over there, waving. Stand up. Hi.
All right, waving and stand.
Stand up. How are you? Good. Oh, everyone's leaving us.
Everyone's leaving us.
It's very mushy.
Right? It was very uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable.
Yeah, Claire was tickling like it just didn't.
Yes, hi.
Hi there. So, Juliet, I have a question for you regarding your very elaborate dresses because you were from another era. So how was it wearing all these really, really pretty, like 19th century dress or whatever? Just a second. I have a little question for Claire as well.
Okay.
How was the transformation from an evil goddess from God knows where to an evil cheerleader from California?
Well, I'll let Juliet go first.
Well, Cynthia Bergstrom did the wardrobe, and it was just exquisite, and it was Drew. It was wonderful. In terms of the current day thing, we kind of had this cross at the time between a Kate Moss heroin chic fashion look and Victorian look, and that was sort of the look we were going for in the modern day. And then all of the flashback sequences, other than the discomfort of the corsets, were incredible to wear.
On another note, Bring It On was my first movie that I'd ever done. I was super young, we all were in that film. And playing Courtney in that movie was extremely fun. And I often say I was completely spoiled with my first couple jobs. We shot in San Diego for 6 months. We were kind of like the little Universal film that no one cared about because American Pie was filming and everybody was kind of focused on that one. They were like, yeah, there's this teenage cheerleading movie, just send them down to San Diego and let them cheer. And so we really didn't have, no one was really there influencing us. And Peyton Reed, that was his feature debut, who obviously he's gone on to direct a ton of great things. And we just had an absolute blast. So that's a movie where there wasn't a lot of like control in terms of the character. They were like, yeah, just try it, just be really bitchy. I'm like, okay, I can do that. You're gonna get off that stool here pretty soon. And then, funny enough, it was only a couple I auditioned for Buffy, and I called Eliza, and I said, yeah, I have this audition for the show Buffy. She's like, go, get the job. And it just was kind of a coincidence that the character ended up having some similarities, obviously a lot of differences, but when I read the pages for Buffy, there were just 2 nondescript pages to audition with, and it just said female. That was the only description. Like, well, I got that. I'm good there. So I just went in and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do something like really big and crazy, and that's kind of how that part panned out. And that was Glory.
Excellent. Right, let's go for another question. Do you guys want to select one?
Hi guys. Hello. So, I'm referring to Once More with Feelings, the musical episode, so this may not have been Tony, but how gutted were you 3 to not be in it? Sorry, but how much did you enjoy singing in it? Because you've got a great voice, Tony.
Joss and I talked about it right from the beginning when we were first doing the presentation. There was no money, there was no pilot, it was a half-hour presentation. And he and me and Sarah and Michelle was standing, we were waiting to do the library scene actually. And we just got talking about musicals, and because I've done a few. And he said how much he loved, he loved musicals. And Sarah said, I like musicals too. And then basically he said one day, let's, if this goes, if this gets picked up, then maybe we'll do a musical sometime. Every year I'd say, are we going to do a musical this year? And he'd say, no. And anyway, one summer, get this CD through with him and Kai singing this musical, and it was amazing. And so, I was a slightly sad person. I used to hang around the studio. I did my bit quite quickly, and then I was this ligger, because I didn't want to leave. People would come in to do the vocals saying, why is he still here? It's because I want to be here.
Not as sad as me, because I kept going to Joss. I was like, you do know that I was a dancer? I was like, yes, I know. You do know that I sing? It's like, yes, I know. But I'm a dancer and I sing. It's like, yeah, I know, Juliet, the episode's written. But and then he's like, and Drew also sings on a monotone note, the run and catch. What would that be for a whole song? I don't know.
How far did he write the musical episode in advance? Was it just that summer before?
I don't know, but I mean, it all kind of came to some quintessence when you actually saw it, because we used to do Shakespeare readings on the weekends, and then we'd all get drunk and hang out around the piano and have fun. And the Shakespeare reading was fun too. But anyway, and it was then James brought a guitar, and I'd been singing it for a long time, and I think it was Marty Knoxon suddenly sang, and he just went, oh my God, he looked around him at everybody, he thought, well, I've got enough people to do the musical. I think, he went, wow, you all sing. And it was that sort of moment, you could see it happen. Yeah. But, and I suppose it was the following, it was that break, that way.
All right, anybody else have a question?
Let's go.
For Tony.
Somebody asked Mark something, right? He's going to do all the time.
All right, let's
You were
go
so
right
good
here.
in the silent episode.
Stand up. I think it will help us if you stay standing during your question.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So not only is this my first con, I came all the way from the States for it, and I really...
So do we.
I really just wanted to say thank you for the last 15 years, because I started when I was 12. That's it. No question.
Thank you. And we hope you have a great experience.
Feeling old.
Yeah, right here on the corner, on the edge. Turn, hand her the mic. I wonder why I was cast as Gloria.
There's really no point to you being artists.
Can I be really cheeky and ask 2 questions?
Ooh.
One for Mark and one for Tony.
Then it's okay.
So, Mark,
At least I'm not snorting.
I'm gonna
take the mic
do
down.
another Instagram if anyone's that interested in these questions.
Mark, what would you like to say to all the Riley haters? Because
So the whole room, you mean?
I love Riley.
No. Somebody said loved or hated, but never, I don't know, there was a famous quote there. You know what? One of my best memories is Joss pulling me aside and saying very slowly and very clearly, do not go online. I said, why? He said, they're gonna hate you. You know, similar to Claire, like this was my first job. I just got done playing pro basketball. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Who is they? It's you! And to his credit, he's like, look, we're gonna do it all. We're gonna give her a boyfriend. He's gonna be shitty to her. You're gonna punt. We're gonna set you up the best way possible. And they're still gonna hate you. And you know, last year was my first con. I didn't do one for 20 years. I've never done them. It was maybe subconsciously in part because of that. Maybe my fear of rotten fruit. I don't know. But I have to say, like, outside of Tony's grunting and snorting, it was a phenomenal experience. And like you said, time heals all wounds for some people. But no, I think every actor's dream is at some point to be a part of a groundbreaking show. And what I've always said is I wish I was more experienced and mature enough at the time to know how good it was that at the time I was doing it. I was too green. I didn't know what I was doing. My hand was being held by trained professionals who were so kind and nice to me. I truly didn't have a clue. And in our profession, it's very difficult to be a part of a story that has these kinds of legs that can travel over this much time and still be irrelevant and resonate with people. And I just wish that I had a little bit more experience at the time to appreciate it more while it was happening.
You seem to.
Gotcha.
And for Tony.
Yeah.
Hi. How does it feel to be one of the biggest sex symbols on the show?
It felt good every day to me.
I don't really see myself as that. Thank you. Flattered. Next question.
Is that your response? All right, we're going to another question.
For Juliet, I was wondering, the plot point where the soul was basically driven mad before being told. How did you feel that sort of reflected on real life mental illness? Do you think it was, did he try to predict it as he was accurate or?
What do you think? I don't know. What do you think? I mean, I've had people come and talk to me that work in that field and said that they felt so, but I don't know if I'm super qualified to say it. But I think the writing, I mean, everything that Joss wrote and the team of writers wrote was always incredibly rooted. And I think for me, as an actress playing it and understanding, you know, what made Drew tick and what the backstory of being driven mad and having her family killed and all of that stuff by Angelus, it seemed, everything seemed to track very much to me.
What really is, did you look at what would be like the facts of PTSD and things like that, or did you prepare for the war, or did you just sort of improvise it?
Oh no, I mean, I always, with whatever I'm doing, I always do a lot of research on everything. So yeah, I did do research on that as well. But, there's many pieces to a puzzle with every role. So yeah.
Can I say as well, I'm not a gladiator.
Hands in the air.
Just hand her the mic. Hand her the mic up here. Come here. Come back. Hand her the mic.
Just for safety.
Hi, so my question is, there's rumours about a reboot for one thing. How do you all feel about that?
Wait, say that again?
There's rumours about a reboot.
There's always rumors about a reboot.
How do you guys feel about that? Would you like to see a reboot or?
If there's glory in it, yes.
I think it should be left alone and ended well and you all brilliant.
Well, it would have to be a different spin on it. It wouldn't be obviously the same show, the same characters, the same time. But, there could be a younger generation.
Or unless you
Slayer
finally
X.
got the animated series that you originally wanted to do, which would be great. And then it could, what season are we on in the comics? So basically there's a lot of story to be told. And it's, in animated form, we could all join in. Otherwise, definitely a different spin. Oh, it's a giant.
We have a real opportunity with streaming and cable now to play up the sex symbol. Take this a little more R-rated. We can push the envelope here a little more.
It's unrated.
I just suddenly thought a very, very quick anecdote. There was a thing, I can't remember what season it is, but Angel he was torturing me. And I was trying to find something, thank you. I was trying to find something because the camera was going to be in my face that would suddenly make everything, my senses go, wow! Because he was doing something to me off camera, and one of the makeup people suggested that I chew on a chili. Which was a great idea, and it worked a treat. But then what I hadn't thought about was that the next sequence was that I got kissed.
Look, I'm married.
I was kissed by Rabia and by Juliet. And I suddenly, because my lips were on fire, and I suddenly thought, oh my God, I'm going to transfer it to them. So I ran to my trailer outside, and I think I got away with it. But
Got away, I didn't know that. What's funny is I do remember you were really hungry when we were shooting that scene.
My
So
stomach
your stomach was rumbling in.
sex symbol, there you go.
It was so cute because I'm straddling you, and when I do this thing, and his stomach kept going like. And then you were being so English because you were like, oh dear. I'm so sorry. So sorry, terribly sorry. And then we go again, they go, and action, and go. So it was quite, well, I remember that, but the chili, no.
And you're getting a snapshot into what those scenes are every single time. Like, we're all having a little walk and talk or a little chat in the library. No one's hungry, no one's uncomfortable, it's all fine. The minute, like, my first one was Sarah, like, I'm on top of her, and they're like, move, Mark, move your shoulder. She's like, Sarah, move up. I'm like, ooh, not there. And we're in the most uncomfortable position, and like, there's my buddy Paul, the focus puller right beside Sarah, and they're like, you're so uncomfortable, and you're like, great, now love each other, action. And you're in the most uncomfortable position. You have these stomachs are growling, knees and elbows are in positions they should not be in. I'm standing over a girl who I'm a foot taller and 100 pounds heavier. Like, we just met. Hey, sorry. They're the worst.
Thank you for that, and I really thank Gavin right now.
let's go for another question. Yeah, we've got time.
Go on to the back.
Yeah.
There's so many people back there.
Go on.
They deserve a little time.
Keep going.
Go, Claire. Let him have
Are
it.
you right now?
Stop and give him the mic. Oh, look at her. Hello.
My favourite episode is Once More with Feeling. What was yours?
Well, that's a good episode to pick. That's a very good episode. Juliet, want to start?
I mean, I love that episode. I'd say of the ones I'm not in, that's my favourite.
It's not a very happy episode, but one of the best pieces of television I think I've ever seen was The Body.
Body. It is so powerful.
I'd say The Body or Hush.
Hush, yeah. Screw
Yeah,
it.
that's just good.
I would say for me, 100th episode, because that was kind of the culmination of my character in the season and everything. So I have a special place in my heart for that.
Good question. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't even know where John is. Oh, he's over there. Just, yeah, pick someone from there, John.
Hello.
Hi.
I like Riley. And just before I ask a question, Anthony Head, you'll always be my Prime Minister. I love you. I just got to say, well, I've got the mic now and I'm feeling like confident. Oh, I dropped something. I better bend down and pick it up. Finally, my question. If you could play a different character, who would you play?
Obviously, Giles.
I wouldn't trade it. I mean, I loved playing Drew. There was just so much dimension, and I wouldn't give away Drew. That would be it.
I literally don't know. I will get back to you on that one.
Maybe I want to play Drew for the dresses.
And the growly tummy.
Yeah, the growl. No, I had the growling tummy.
That's right. But Drew was hungry a lot. She'd eat people.
Okay, right, should we go for it?
Thank you.
We've got time for one or two more questions, so if you've got a burning question, put them there.
Hey, Juliet and Claire, you two played two of the best villains in the whole of the series, but we never got to see them interact with each other, despite appearing both in Season 5. How do you reckon they would have played off each other?
It's a good question. They definitely would have had fun together.
Yeah.
I think my laissez-faire attitude would have brought out a little of Drew's non-monotone voice, maybe.
That would have been a cool duo, yeah, if we got to
Yeah.
destroy the world together.
Reboot.
This is the reboot.
Okay, I think we've got time for another one.
Hello. This started out in my head as a question for Tony, but I guess you could possibly all answer it. I used to be a librarian, and librarians had a real problem with their reputations being really uncool. So do you think that Giles was a bit of a trailblazer in making librarians cool?
Sexy.
That's so sexy. Thank you.
I must admit, when I was doing my research on the show, and I went to a local high school, to the library, and the librarian said, "At last, somebody's going to make this job cool." And at the time, I didn't know how the character was going to progress, but I think Giles started off anything but cool, really, wasn't he? He was focused, but. but we did find out that there was more to him, which is basically what it's about. But I was like inside going, please don't count on me. Because when I first auditioned for it, I had an idea in my head that he was either like Alan Rickman or he was like Prince Charles. So I like Prince Charles. And I said to Josh, you know, which of those would you go for? And bless him, he said, well, maybe a bit of both. Which in the audition state is not the best thing to hear. So that's why, yeah, I didn't think he was going to be that cool, but he did turn out to be what I liked him.
Brilliant. I think all librarians across the world are like, yes!
Okay, we've got time for one last question.
This is like the fastest panel in the world.
It just feels fast. That's what it is.
Thank you. Hi guys. My question's for Anthony and Mark. When you were filming Hush, was it really difficult without the dialogue?
To me, the hardest part was not to laugh.
Yes.
You know, because obviously Joss is so thorough in his writing, and he's so complete, emotionally, story, plot, characters, relationships, like, you know where it's going. So it was communicated on the page well, and we knew he would direct it well, and it would be kind of easy. The problem was there were moments where, like, everyone was having to mimic and do things, and Sarah's with the spike doing more things. It was just really hard not to laugh at all of it during the process of it. Otherwise, you know, like so many things, you get on a series and you're doing one role, and again, it was kind of my first one, but after a while, it kind of felt like there was a step outside of our characters. We got to do something different than what we usually do Monday to Friday. We kind of got to play a little different role, or do it and come at it a different way. So it was probably much like the musical episode. It was just exciting and stimulating to do something a little different, turn it on its side a little bit, with Joss at the helm and the script being so good. Again, the hard part was just kind of all keeping it together and shutting up to do it.
We've done, I can't remember what episode, but Joss basically was a scene set in the library. This was way before Hush. And he said, right, so you know, now over to you guys, you can improvise on this bit. And we all basically just went, and it was like, well, I'm not going to do that again then. Which is why Hush, I mean, basically there was no script for Hush initially. It was literally a beat sheet. It was just literally this.
I was just going to ask that. What did it look like?
It was literally just like, this happens, and then this happens. There was no dialogue, there was nothing. But yeah, no, my memory of the lecture hall scene with Buffy. There were a lot of laughs there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, there's some people right at the back there waving their arms around. They desperately want to ask a question.
They're just trying to fly.
Ask them.
My question's for Giles. Because me and my sister, we were big fans of Rocky Horror. What did it feel like playing Frankenfurter on one of the tours? And since the UK tours is starting again, would you have in mind doing it again? And could you sing some of the lines of Sweet Child of West Side?
I didn't do the tour. I did the Piccadilly, and I took over from bizarrely Robin Cousins. He was off doing some ice skating thing, and so they asked me to do a brief fill-in. I mean, it was one of the best experiences of my life. It was very releasing. It was just, no, seriously, that's wrong. But it was, I mean, it was one of those things where the character just basically, I could do things as the character that I couldn't do as myself. When I first started, they said one of the things that people struggle with is dealing with the audience participation. So you need to get yourself a little book of responses, put downs. And so I did. I got a few friends that were comics, and I got things off TV, and I got a great line from the drummer, which always went that well. But anyway, the management came to me at the end of the first week and said, "Great, well, you got that down. Can you answer a few less, because you're putting 25 minutes on the show?" Oh, okay. So I actually started, I choose which ones I put down, but I could put somebody literally with a look as Frank. I could shut him up in the back of the circle. It was like a 2,500 seater, so it wasn't, how do you do? I see you met my faithful handyman. He's a little strung out because when you loved, he thought you were the handyman. Don't get strung out by the way that I look. Don't judge a book by its cover. I'm not much of a man by the light of day, but by night I'm one hell of a lover.
Sex symbol.
Sadly, that is all we've got time for, so can you please put your hands together?